The stars stretched endlessly across the black canvas of space, each one like a tiny spark of hope in the darkness. Aaron Saul sat in the cockpit of the Endeavour, his hand steady on the controls, though his mind was a storm of curiosity and anticipation. After years of training, of simulations and small missions, this was the first time he was venturing so far from Earth on a planet no human had ever set foot. On Cytheria, the name alone carried weight in the scientific community and uncharted world within. Atmosphere capable of supporting life, glowing oceans, and magnetic storms that painted the skies in dancing colors. As he approached Cytheria, the planet came into view, a swirling jewel of greens, purples, and blues. The clouds shimmered faintly, reflecting the energy beneath the surface. Aaron felt a shiver of excitement and something deeper, something he could not yet name. There was something alive in the air, in the way the planet pulsed as he descended. Touching down on the surface, he felt the faint hum of energy beneath his feet. The landing site was a flat plateau surrounded by crystalline formations that glimmered like glass towers. His boots crunched over the iridescent soil, and each step seemed to echo in a silence that was not quite silent. The air smelled faintly of ozone and flowers, an alien scent that somehow felt welcoming. Aaron took a deep breath and activated his portable scanner. Atmosphere is breathable, he muttered to himself. Minor adjustments, but nothing Earth's tech can't handle. Temperature stable. Life signs low, but present. No immediate threats, despite the scanner's reassurance. He could not shake the feeling that he was being watched. Shadows seemed to shift unnaturally among the crystals, though every time he turned, nothing was there. He shook his head. It's just the light, he whispered. Or maybe it's just me. He began exploring, moving toward a structure that rose from the ground like it had grown from the planet itself. It was circular, smooth, and enormous, with patterns etched along its surface that glowed faintly. Aaron had never seen anything like it. No human architecture, no alien probe, nothing in the archives even hinted at designs like this. His pulse quickened as he stepped closer, every instinct telling him that this was the heart of the mystery Cytheria held. As he approached the entrance, he noticed symbols carved deep into the walls. They pulsed faintly as if responding to his presence. Aaron crouched to scan them. The scanner struggled to interpret, giving only fragmented readings, energy signatures, and known minerals, a faint psychic resonance. Psychic resonance? Aaron frowned. That was not supposed to exist, at least, not in ways humans could detect. The symbols seemed to move slightly under his gaze, shifting like liquid metal. He blinked, but they did not stop. Okay, he muttered, definitely alive. He took a cautious step inside. The air felt warmer, heavier, almost like it was aware of him. The walls pulsed softly, sending vibrations through the floor into his boots. Shadows stretched along the edges of the chamber, though no source of light was visible. Aaron activated his flashlight, but it barely penetrated the soft glow that came from the walls themselves. The room opened into a larger space, circular and vast. At the center was a raised platform, smooth and metallic, yet flowing in shape as if it had been sculpted by energy rather than hands. He walked closer, feeling a magnetic pull, a gentle tug toward the platform. His scanner read high energy levels, something beyond anything humans had developed. And then he heard it. A voice, not in words, not in sound, but inside his mind, soft yet undeniable, at last. I have found you, my human. Aaron froze, scanning the room for a speaker. No one, nothing, only the soft pulse of the chamber around him. He frowned, trying to dismiss it as a side effect of exhaustion or stress. But the words had been clear, distinct, deliberate. Who's there? He asked aloud. His voice sounded small in the immense space. No reply. The voice came again, this time warmer, almost melodic. Do not be afraid. You are exactly what I have been searching for. Aaron's heart raced. His training screamed caution, but curiosity surged stronger. He took a slow step forward, reaching toward the platform. The moment his fingers brushed its surface, a wave of energy surged through him, not painful, but overwhelming in sensation. Colors danced behind his eyes, lights that had no source, patterns of thought that were not his own. And then, images, a civilization older than humanity, civilization spread across distant galaxies. Worlds teeming with life, all protected by beings who were. Like the pulse he now felt through his veins, he staggered back, overwhelmed. The platform's energy did not fade. It seemed to invite him, to call him closer. The voice came again, softer now, almost a whisper in the corners of his mind. You are human. You carry a spark that even we cannot create. That is why I have sought you across the stars. Arn's mind reeled. Human, why him? He was just an explorer, a scientist sent to study a planet. Nothing special, at least, nothing he could see. Yet the chamber seemed to answer questions he did not even know he had. The energy felt intelligent, aware, and benevolent. Cautiously, he reached out again, letting the light of his scanner wash over the platform. Symbols etched into its surface shifted and reformed under his gaze. A map, he realized. The platform was showing him something routes through space, locations of distant worlds, energies flowing between them. Each pattern seemed alive, connected, and almost personal. Then he saw her, a figure, radiant and tall. Stepped from the shadows, or perhaps she had always been there, part of the energy of the chamber. Her skin shimmered like liquid light, flowing in colors humans had no names for. Her eyes were deep pools of brightness, drawing him in, making him feel small and infinite all at once. She moved without touching the ground, hovering slightly above the floor. And yet each step seemed deliberate, graceful, commanding. Do not be afraid, the voice said again, now aligned with the figure. I am the Queen of Zytheria, and you are the human I have been seeking. Aaron took a step back, stunned, trying to find his voice. I don't understand. Why me? The Queen tilted her head, a motion full of elegance and meaning. Because humanity holds a spark unlike any other species. Courage, curiosity, resilience. Traits that even my kind cannot replicate. Across eons, we have searched for the one who can understand, who can bridge our worlds. That one is you. He wanted to speak, to ask questions, but words failed him. The chamber seemed to hum in response, the energy flowing faster, brighter, as if pleased with his presence. Every instinct in him told him that leaving was impossible now, not by force, but by choice. Something in him, something deeply human, recognized the truth of her words. Come closer, she said. And the platform beneath him pulsed gently. There is much to see, much to understand, and your journey has only just begun. Aaron took a deep breath, grounding himself. One step, then another. As he moved closer, the room seemed to expand, the walls glowing brighter, the symbols shifting into shapes he could almost understand. He was no longer just an explorer. He was a visitor to a world that had been waiting for him, a human chosen for a purpose he did not yet comprehend. The Queen extended a hand, or what he perceived as a hand, luminous and fluid. Her gaze held no malice, no threat, only curiosity, recognition, and something warmer, almost hope. Welcome, Aaron Solace, she whispered. You are the bridge between your kind and ours. And at last, we have found you. For a moment, Aaron closed his eyes, letting the hum of the chamber fill his senses. His pulse slowed, his mind cleared, and in that instant, he knew life as he had known it on Earth would never be the same again. He was not alone in the universe. And more importantly, the universe had not been waiting for just anyone. It had been waiting for him. As he opened his eyes and took the first steps into a new world, he felt the weight of destiny settle on his shoulders, and for the first time, he felt ready to carry it. Zytheria was alive, the Queen was watching, and the adventure of a lifetime had only just begun. Aaron stood on the glowing platform, his heart still racing from the Queen's words. The chamber hummed softly around him, as if the walls themselves were alive and breathing. Every pulse of light felt like a heartbeat, resonating deep within his chest. He looked at the Queen again, her form shifting gracefully like liquid energy, her eyes bright with an intelligence that seemed to reach straight into his mind. You've been searching for me? Aaron asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Yes, the Queen replied, her voice gentle yet firm, echoing inside his mind. across countless worlds, across time itself. I have sought the human who could understand what we are and what we hope to achieve. That human is you?" Aaron swallowed hard. He had always believed humans were clever, resilient, and curious, but to be singled out by an alien being of unimaginable power? It was almost too much to comprehend. Why him? He wondered. He was only one man, not even a hero, just an explorer. The Queen seemed to sense his doubt. "You underestimate yourself, as many humans do. But it is precisely your kind's resilience, your creativity, your ability to adapt and learn, that sets you apart. That is why I sought you." Aaron felt a strange warmth spreading through him, a sense of trust and awe he had never known. Slowly, cautiously, he stepped closer. As he did, the platform beneath him pulsed in response, as though inviting him forward. The Queen extended her hand again. "Come," she said. "Walk with me. There is much to show you." As Aaron followed, the chamber seemed to change around them. The glowing walls shifted, forming pathways, corridors, and stairways that had not been there before. Symbols along the walls pulsed and moved, forming patterns that conveyed thought rather than language. Aaron realized he could almost understand them, not fully, but enough to sense meaning. The symbols spoke of energy flows, life forces, and the history of Scifi itself. "Your world is ancient," Aaron said slowly. "How is it? Alive like this?" "Not alive in the way humans think," the Queen explained. "Scifi is a living network, a symphony of energy and consciousness. Every stone, every crystal, every particle of this planet is part of a greater intelligence, and it has been waiting for the one who could hear its song clearly." Aaron's eyes widened. A planet with intelligence, entirely conscious. He had read about theoretical forms of planetary consciousness, but nothing like this existed in any human record. He felt a thrill of excitement mixed with fear. "Wait," he said. "Why me? Why a human? Surely there are others your own kind, or other species?" The Queen's form shimmered brighter, and Aaron felt a rush of warmth and understanding. "Your species is unique. You are curious, yes, but also capable of empathy, of courage, of thinking beyond instinct. You can question, create, and act in ways even we cannot. That is why we searched for you specifically. You are the bridge," Aaron Solace. He took a moment to process. A bridge between her kind and humanity. The weight of responsibility pressed on him, yet it was accompanied by an undeniable sense of honor. For the first time in his life, Aaron felt as if he had truly been chosen for something greater. The Queen led him further into the chamber. The walls opened into a vast hall filled with floating crystalline structures, each glowing with soft, shifting light. Some resembled trees, others like spires, and still others formed shapes that defied logic. Aaron moved among them, awestruck. "These structures," he said, pointing to one that pulsed like a heartbeat, "they're alive too?" "Yes," the Queen said. "Each is a vessel of knowledge and energy. They hold the memories of our civilization, the wisdom of countless generations. And soon, you will learn to read them as well." She gestured toward one crystal that seemed to call to him. Tentatively, Aaron reached out and touched it. A rush of images flooded his mind, scenes of alien cities, vast fleets of ships, distant worlds teeming with life, and beings of light communicating in ways beyond language. He stumbled back, overwhelmed. "Oh, it's all in my head," he muttered. "Your mind is open to it because you are human," the Queen said. "Your kind has an innate capacity to adapt to new forms of knowledge. You can understand what others cannot. That is your gift and your purpose." Aaron's pulse quickened. He had always known humans could adapt, could learn, and survive in difficult conditions. But this was something else entirely. The knowledge of a civilization older than his planet, older than human history itself, was flowing into him, yet it was not overwhelming in a harmful way. Instead, it felt like a puzzle waiting to be solved. "Show me more," Aaron said, his voice steadier now. "I want to understand. I need to understand." The Queen's form shimmered like sunlight on water. "Good. There is much to see, and much you will learn. But first, you must understand Scifi itself. The planet is alive, yes, but it is also under threat. Forces in the galaxy seek to control it, to exploit its energy for their own gain. We have waited too long for a being like you to help protect it. Aaron felt a chill. A threat. He had expected wonders, not danger. Yet he also felt a surge of determination. He had trained for emergencies, for unknown situations, for challenges that pushed him beyond his limits. This was on a scale far beyond anything he had imagined, but it was still a challenge he could meet. "Then I'll help," he said firmly. "Whatever it takes. Tell me what I need to do." The Queen smiled, or at least what Aaron perceived as a smile. Light shimmered across her form, warm and reassuring. "Patience, human. First, you must understand our ways, our knowledge, and our history. Only then can you act." She guided him deeper into the hall. Crystals floated around them, rearranging themselves to form pathways, showing images of alien cities, planets in alignment, and fleets of ships moving like living organisms. Aaron's mind raced to absorb it all, yet he felt a strange sense of calm. He was learning, understanding, and connecting in a way that was almost intuitive. "You see," the Queen said, her voice a melody that echoed in his mind, "we are not just a species. We are a network of consciousness linked across worlds. Our knowledge is vast, but without a being like you, one who can think, adapt, and act in ways we cannot, it remains only potential. You are the key to unlocking that potential." Aaron stopped, feeling the weight of her words. A key, him, one human among billions, chosen for a purpose beyond imagination. He could feel the responsibility pressing on him, but also a deep pride. "Then I'll do it," he said, determination hardening his voice. "I don't fully understand yet, but I will. I'll learn everything I need to. That is all I ask," the Queen said, and her form shimmered brightly, almost like laughter. "You are human, Aaron Solace. You carry our hope, and soon you will carry your own." They walked together through the hall, the Queen pointing out different crystals and sharing knowledge in flashes of thought and light. Aaron absorbed everything he could, asking questions and marveling at the complexity of the civilization he had just encountered. He realized that humanity had only scratched the surface of what the galaxy held. And yet here he was, standing at the beginning of something extraordinary. As they reached the edge of the hall, Aaron paused to look back. The platform glowed faintly, the symbols still shifting and moving like liquid fire. Cytheria was alive, aware, and full of secrets. And the Queen. She was more than just an alien being. She was a guide, a teacher, and a reminder of how small yet significant he truly was. "Tomorrow," the Queen whispered in his mind, "we will begin your true lessons. You will learn our ways, our history, and your role in what is to come. Rest now, human. The journey ahead is long, but you are ready." Aaron nodded, even though she could not see him. He felt the weight of the day, the awe, the fear, the exhilaration, and allowed himself a moment of quiet reflection. He had arrived on Cytheria seeking knowledge, but what he had found was far greater: purpose, connection, and the sense that humanity could mean something extraordinary in a galaxy far older and wiser than his own. As he prepared to rest on the platform, he looked out through the crystal walls of the chamber. The stars above Cytheria seemed closer, brighter, filled with possibility. For the first time in his life, Aaron Solace felt not only chosen, but ready. The Queen's presence remained with him, a quiet hum of energy and reassurance. He closed his eyes, letting the light of Cytheria wash over him, knowing that tomorrow would mark the beginning of a journey that could change not just his life, but the fate of countless worlds. And for the first time, Aaron allowed himself to hope. The morning light of Cytheria was unlike any Aaron had ever seen. It did not come from the sun alone, but seemed to radiate from the planet itself. Crystal towers and floating spires shimmered in a soft glow, casting colorful reflections on the smooth ground. Aaron stepped off the platform, feeling the energy of the planet beneath his boots. Every step felt alive, as if the ground itself recognized him. The Queen hovered nearby, her radiant form shifting in the light. Though she was alien, there was a warmth in her presence that eased his nerves. "Today, you will begin to understand Cytheria in ways no human has before," she said in his mind. "You will see not just with your eyes, but with your mind." You will learn our history, our knowledge, and the qualities we have sought in humans for millennia." Aaron nodded, feeling both excitement and nervousness. He was eager to learn, but the scale of what awaited him was overwhelming. "Where do we start?" he asked. "We start with your gift," the Queen replied. "Humans are remarkable. Your minds can perceive connections, create solutions, and adapt in ways even we cannot. That is why I sought you. You have the potential to bridge worlds." She led him through a grove of floating crystals that responded to his presence. Each crystal glowed brighter as he passed, vibrating in soft, musical tones. The Queen stopped at one particularly large crystal, its surface shimmering with images of distant planets and strange alien landscapes. "Focus," she said. "Do not just see, feel. Let your mind connect with the energy." Aaron closed his eyes and reached out with his mind as best as he could. At first, it was confusing, a flood of impressions, colors, and sounds that made him dizzy. But slowly, he began to sense patterns, rhythms, and flows. He realized that Cytheria was a network of energy, alive and conscious, with information moving through it like water through a river. The images in the crystal were not random. They were connected, telling a story of life, growth, and protection. "Good," the Queen said, her voice a gentle echo. "You are beginning to see as we do. You can learn, but you must also understand why humans are special. You notice connections others miss. You adapt to challenges, and your courage allows you to act where others hesitate." Aaron felt a surge of pride. For years, humans had struggled to explore the stars, always limited by technology, resources, or fear. Yet here he was, standing on a living planet, connecting with a being far older and wiser than himself. And she was telling him that humans, his kind, were capable of more than he had ever imagined. They moved to another crystal, this one glowing with scenes of alien civilizations long gone. The Queen projected thoughts into his mind, showing him how her species had once traveled the galaxy, helping worlds thrive, protecting life wherever it existed. Humans had only scratched the surface of space exploration, but she saw in him a potential to continue that work, to protect, to learn, and to act. "You see our history," she said, "and now you will understand your role. The galaxy is full of life, but also full of dangers. Only those who can think, adapt, and act will survive. Humans, by their nature, can do this. That is why you were chosen." Aaron absorbed her words carefully, feeling the truth in them. He thought of Earth, its people, and the small victories and failures that define human progress. Humans had faced hunger, disease, war, and disaster, yet they had endured. They had learned, adapted, and grown stronger. Perhaps that resilience was what the Queen admired and why she had sought him. "It is not just your mind," she continued. "It is also your heart. Humans can empathize, care, and form bonds. You create connections that give strength. That is rare in the universe, and it is what makes you valuable to us." Aaron felt a strange warmth spread through him. For the first time, he saw the value of his species in a new light. Humans were fragile, yet remarkably strong. Small, yet capable of great deeds. And here, in this moment, he felt the weight of that responsibility. They spent hours moving through the crystal groves. The Queen showed him ancient archives stored in the energy of Cytheria, teaching him to read the pulses of light, the vibrations, and the colors. Slowly, he began to understand the patterns, recognizing sequences that revealed knowledge, history, and strategies for survival. The process was exhausting, yet exhilarating. At one point, Aaron paused and looked at the Queen. "I never imagined humans could mean so much to another species. We're small in the galaxy, but you think we can make a difference?" "Yes," she said. "Size does not determine significance. It is choice, courage, and connection that define true power. You have all of these qualities. That is why you were chosen. That is why we found you." Aaron's mind reeled with the possibilities. He had always believed in human potential, but to hear it confirmed by an alien being of such wisdom and experience was humbling. He realized that his journey was no longer just about exploring Cytheria. It was about preparing himself to carry knowledge and responsibility back into the wider galaxy. By the afternoon, Aaron felt more confident. He could sense the flow of energy through the planet, connect with the crystals, and begin to interpret their messages. The Queen guided him patiently, correcting his mistakes with a gentle touch of thought. Each moment spent together strengthened the bond between them, not a romantic bond, but one of trust, respect, and shared purpose. "You are learning quickly," she said, her voice bright with approval. "That is human nature. You adapt, you grow, and you surprise even us. The galaxy has been waiting for this, and now you will begin to see why your presence is necessary." She led him to a large crystal that glowed with a soft golden light. Inside, he saw flashes of conflict ships clashing, worlds under siege, and powerful forces attempting to dominate weaker species. Aaron realized that her people were not alone in the galaxy. Others sought to exploit life, and Zitheria's energy was a prize they coveted. "This is why you are important," the Queen said. "Humans are capable of courage, strategy, and innovation. You can act in ways others cannot, and that is what we need." Aaron felt a surge of determination. He had always known humans were capable of great things, but now he understood their potential in a cosmic sense. He could help protect worlds, preserve life, and act as a bridge between his kind and the advanced civilizations he was beginning to know. The sun, or what passed for a sun in Zitheria's sky, began to dip toward the horizon. The floating crystals reflected the fading light, casting shimmering patterns across the ground. Aaron turned to the Queen. "I want to do more," he said. "I want to learn everything you can teach me. I want to understand our place, and I want to help." "Good," she said, her voice like a melody carried on the wind. "That is the spirit that makes humans extraordinary. You will learn, yes, but you will also act. And one day, your actions will be remembered across the stars." As the evening settled over Zitheria, Aaron and the Queen stood together, observing the glowing landscape. Though he was exhausted from the mental effort of connecting with the planet and its knowledge, he felt alive in a way he had never known. He was learning not just about Zitheria, but about himself, about humanity, and about the incredible potential of his species. "Rest now," the Queen said. "Tomorrow, we begin your practical lessons. You will test your understanding, your courage, and your ability to act. The galaxy is waiting, and you are ready." Aaron nodded, taking a deep breath. The journey ahead would be long, challenging, and full of unknowns, but he was ready. He had found his purpose, and for the first time in his life, he felt fully connected not just to Zitheria or the Queen, but to something greater than himself, something that stretched across the stars, linking life, courage, and hope. As he settled on the platform to rest, Aaron glanced at the Queen one last time. She hovered silently, her radiant form shimmering softly, as if acknowledging his determination. He closed his eyes, letting the energy of Zitheria flow through him, carrying visions, knowledge, and the promise of what was to come. And for the first time, Aaron Salas felt certain of one thing: humanity, small and fragile though it may be, had a place among the stars. The next morning, Zitheria shimmered with a quiet intensity, the floating crystals reflecting sunlight in colors that seemed alive. Aaron stood on the platform, stretching his limbs and feeling the energy of the planet flowing through him. The Queen hovered nearby, her radiant form brighter than the day before. "Today," she said, "you will learn to act, not just to understand. Knowledge alone is not enough. Courage and decisiveness are equally important. The galaxy is not always safe. You must be ready to protect what is precious." Aaron nodded, determination firming in his chest. For days, he had been learning the secrets of Zitheria, connecting with the planet's energy, and understanding the history of her civilization. But today, he would face the practical side of his lessons. He was no longer just a student. He would become a participant in the defense of life itself. The Queen guided him to a high plateau overlooking the crystal plains. Below, Aaron could see the glowing forests, rivers of light, and distant mountains that pulsed with life. "The energy of Zitheria is a treasure," she explained. "Others will seek it. There are forces in the galaxy who do not respect life. You must learn to defend it." Suddenly, the platform trembled. A low hum filled the air, growing louder and more urgent. Arn's pulse quickened as he scanned the horizon. In the distance, dark shapes moved across the plain ships, fast and angular. Unlike anything he had seen before, their energy signatures were sharp and aggressive, pulsing with a hostile intent. "They're here," the Queen said, her voice calm but firm. "They seek to take Zetheria's energy for themselves. Watch and learn how to respond." Arn's heart pounded. The alien ships glinted in the sunlight as they descended toward the planet. The Queen raised her hands, and the air shimmered with protective energy. Pulses of light formed barriers around the floating crystals, creating shields that seemed to pulse with the planet's heartbeat. "Humans have never faced this before," she said softly. "But you have qualities that are uniquely yours. You can adapt. You can think creatively. You can act when others hesitate." Aaron took a deep breath and nodded. He had learned much from her, but now it was time to test himself. The first wave of alien ships approached the central plains, firing energy beams that struck the ground and were absorbed harmlessly by the Queen's shields. Aaron noticed patterns in the enemy movement's rhythms, repeated sequences, and weaknesses in their formation. "See their patterns," the Queen whispered. "Your mind can see solutions we cannot. Humans are capable of improvisation, of creating strategies in the moment. That is your strength." Aaron studied the ships, calculating trajectories and timing. He saw an opening a moment when the enemy fleet's formation would leave one of their energy cores exposed. "I see it," he said aloud. "If we target the cores in sequence, we can disrupt their formation without destroying them completely." "Good," the Queen said, her form glowing brighter. "Act." With a nod, Aaron activated a small control panel that the Queen had provided, interfacing his human ingenuity with Zetheria's energy systems. He directed pulses of energy toward the enemy ships, precise and timed. The pulses struck the cores exactly as he had predicted. The enemy formation wavered, their attacks losing coordination. Aaron adjusted the timing, redirecting the energy to ensure maximum effect. The Queen observed silently, her attention focused but calm. "See what humans can do," she said softly. "Courage, observation, and quick thinking. That is your gift." The alien ships began to retreat, confused by the unexpected countermeasures. Aaron felt a thrill of accomplishment, but he knew the battle was not over. He had acted effectively, but he also realized how fragile even a victory could be. The galaxy was full of threats, and Zetheria would continue to attract attention. "You performed well," the Queen said, her voice warm. "But remember, courage alone is not enough. You must also understand, adapt, and plan. Humans are capable of all three. That is why you are vital." Aaron took a deep breath, looking at the Queen. "I understand. I've learned, but there's so much more. How do I keep getting better? How do I protect not just this planet, but others like it?" "By continuing to learn, by connecting with life, and by trusting your instincts," she replied. "You are human. That is your greatest advantage. You see beyond the obvious. You adapt to the unknown. You act when others freeze. That is why we have waited for you." They spent the rest of the day exploring the aftermath of the attack. Aaron observed how the energy of Zetheria responded to threats, how the crystals could absorb, redirect, and amplify defensive measures. He realized that humans, with their creativity and adaptability, could use these tools in ways the Queen's kind never had. "Your species is remarkable," the Queen said as they walked. "You have the ability to combine understanding with action. That is what makes you a bridge. That is why I found you." Aaron felt a swell of pride and responsibility. He had learned about Zetheria's energy, about the Queen's history, and about his own potential. But the day had also taught him a new truth. Knowledge alone was not enough. Courage and action were essential, and he would have to continue growing if he was to meet the challenges ahead. As evening fell, the sky of Zetheria glowed with the soft light of the planet itself. The alien ships had retreated, but Aaron knew it was only a temporary reprieve. The galaxy was vast, and others would come. But he no longer felt fear. He had learned from the Queen, connected with Zetheria, and discovered the unique strengths of his humanity. "Rest now," the Queen said. "Tomorrow, you will learn to use what you have learned in new ways. The galaxy will test you, but you are ready." Humans are resilient, adaptable, and courageous. That is why you exist here, now, and that is why you will succeed. Aaron lay on the platform, watching the glowing crystals and feeling the energy flow beneath him. For the first time, he felt fully connected to the planet, to the Queen, and to the potential of his species. Humans were small in the galaxy, but they were not powerless. They could observe, adapt, and act in ways others could not. And he, Aaron Solace, was living proof. He closed his eyes, feeling Zetheria's heartbeat sync with his own. Tomorrow would bring new lessons, new challenges, and perhaps new threats. But he was no longer just an observer. He was part of something greater, a living bridge between humans and the stars, capable of courage, understanding, and action. And for the first time, Aaron knew with certainty that humanity, fragile yet resilient, could stand among the greatest civilizations of the galaxy. The sky above Zetheria glowed with colors no human had names for. Crystals shimmered in the twilight, and the air vibrated softly with the planet's heartbeat. Aaron Solace stood on the central platform, taking in the beauty of a world that had once seemed so alien and now felt like home. He had grown stronger, wiser, and more confident in just a few days. Yet the lessons the Queen had taught him still resonated deeply. Knowledge alone was never enough. Courage, adaptability, and understanding were equally vital. Aaron. The Queen's voice echoed gently in his mind. You have learned much. You have faced challenges, understood our history, and proven your courage. Now comes the time for a greater role. The galaxy awaits your guidance. Aaron nodded, feeling a sense of purpose settle firmly in his chest. He had never considered himself extraordinary, just a human explorer trying to understand new worlds. But Zetheria, the Queen, and the energy of the planet had shown him otherwise. Humans were small, yes, but remarkable in ways even advanced civilizations could admire. What do you mean? He asked. Guidance? What am I supposed to do? You are a bridge, she said. Humanity is ready to step beyond its home. You will help connect our worlds, teach your species, and show the galaxy that humans can act with courage, intelligence, and empathy. You are a symbol of potential. Aaron felt a surge of pride and responsibility. He thought of Earth, of people struggling with everyday problems, unaware of the vastness and wonders beyond their skies. And yet, he realized that humans were capable of so much more. If he could carry Zetheria's lessons and the Queen's wisdom back home, humans could grow, learn, and play their part in the larger galaxy. The Queen extended her hand, and a pulse of energy connected him to the planet once more. Visions flooded his mind, maps of star systems, communications networks between planets, and the energy flows that link life across the cosmos. Aaron could see how humans could fit into this network, not as conquerors or invaders, but as allies, learners, and protectors. We have much to do, the Queen said. But first, you must leave Zetheria for a time. You must carry knowledge to your people, prepare them, and help them understand that humanity's potential is far greater than they imagine. Aaron hesitated. Leaving Zetheria felt strange, almost like abandoning a part of himself. Yet he understood the Queen's meaning. The planet had chosen him, and now it was time to carry that choice back to Earth. I will do it, he said. I'll go back and prepare humanity. I won't let Zetheria or you down. The Queen's radiant form shimmered brighter, and he sensed pride in her energy. I know you will not. Humans are resilient, adaptable, and courageous. That is why I found you. That is why you will succeed. Over the next few days, Aaron prepared for departure. The Queen taught him how to interface human technology with Zetheria's energy systems. He learned to store information, map energy flows, and even create defensive measures that humans could later use if they ever returned. Every moment was filled with lessons, visions, and guidance. Aaron felt his mind expanding, understanding things no human had ever known. Yet amidst the learning, he also discovered the emotional depth of the bond between humans and the Queen. It was not romantic, but profound, a connection of respect, trust, and shared purpose. She had chosen him not just for his mind, but for his heart. Humans had qualities that even her kind could not fully replicate, and she recognized the value of those qualities. Finally, the day of departure arrived. Aaron stood on the platform, the Endeavor ready to lift off. The Queen hovered beside him, her luminous form reflecting the sunlight in dazzling patterns. "Remember," she said, "this is not the end. It is only the beginning. Humanity has a role to play, and you will lead the way. Trust in yourself, trust in your kind, and trust in what you have learned here." Aaron nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. He had come to Cytheria seeking knowledge, but he was leaving with purpose, connection, and a vision of humanity's potential. "I will not forget," he said. "I will make sure humans are ready." The Queen's light pulsed softly, a silent acknowledgement. Then, with a graceful wave of her hand, she stepped back, allowing the Endeavor to rise. Aaron felt the familiar hum of the engines and the energy of Cytheria surrounding him, guiding him as he ascended. The planet receded below, its glowing forests, rivers, and crystals shrinking into the distance. As he left the atmosphere, Aaron reflected on everything he had learned. Humans were small, fragile, and often limited by fear. Yet they carried a spark unlike any other species. Their curiosity, empathy, courage, and adaptability allowed them to survive and thrive against all odds. The Queen had recognized these qualities in him, and now he had a responsibility to awaken them in humanity. He thought of Earth of friends, colleagues, and strangers alike can't imagine how they would respond to the knowledge he now carried. It would not be easy. Humans were cautious, sometimes hesitant, and often skeptical of the unknown. But Aaron knew they could rise to the occasion. He had seen the potential, and he would guide them to it. Weeks passed as he returned to Earth, his mind full of maps, energy patterns, and strategies. He prepared reports, simulations, and proposals, translating the knowledge of Cytheria into terms humans could understand. Every detail was precise, every suggestion rooted in the principles the Queen had taught him: courage, adaptability, and empathy. When he finally stepped onto Earth, he felt both familiar and strange. The air was heavier, the colors less vibrant, yet it was home. He looked up at the stars, imagining Cytheria among them, glowing and alive, waiting for humanity to step forward. He felt a sense of purpose stronger than he had ever known. Humans had a place in the galaxy, and he would show them the way. Aaron began sharing his experiences, starting with small groups of scientists, explorers, and visionaries. At first, many were skeptical, but his knowledge, confidence, and clarity soon won them over. He showed them the principles of energy manipulation, interstellar cooperation, and the value of human qualities. Slowly, people began to understand the potential that humans held not as conquerors, but as allies, protectors, and learners. Months turned into years, and Aaron became a leader in humanity's exploration of the stars. Cytheria remained a symbol, a reminder of what humans could achieve when they combined courage, understanding, and empathy. The Queen's guidance had changed him, and through him, she had begun to change humanity. One evening, standing on a cliff overlooking the oceans of Earth, Aaron felt a familiar pulse in his mind. He smiled. The Queen was watching not in person, but in connection, across the stars. "You have done well, human," her voice whispered gently. "Humanity is growing, learning, and preparing. And you have fulfilled what I sought in you. But remember, this is only the beginning. Your species has much to offer, and the galaxy is watching." Aaron nodded. "I understand," he said silently. "I won't let you down." He looked up at the night sky, imagining Cytheria glowing in the distance. Stars stretched endlessly, full of possibilities, mysteries, and allies waiting to be discovered. Humanity was no longer just earthbound. They had a place among the stars, and he had helped them see it for the first time. Aaron felt the full weight of hope. Humans were small, yet remarkable. Fragile, yet resilient. Limited, yet capable of extraordinary things. And he, Aaron Solace, had seen it firsthand. The galaxy was vast and filled with challenges. But humans had something special, something worth celebrating, protecting, and sharing. He had learned it on Cytheria, from the Queen, and from his own heart. As he turned to go back to his work, preparing humanity for its next steps among the stars, Aaron felt a quiet satisfaction. He had been chosen. He had learned. He had acted. And now he was leading. Humanity's journey had only just begun, and he was ready to guide them, step by step, into a future of courage, exploration, and endless possibilities. And above all, he knew this truth: humans, small and fragile though they might seem, could rise to greatness in a galaxy filled with wonder, challenge, and hope.